The New World Bible Translating Committee has been most meticulous when translating the original biblical languages into English. And as certain videos here on this channel have highlighted, more and more modern evangelical Bibles are translating closer and closer to the New World Translation in many ways. We'll see this video touches on some of the small, subtle, non-controversial renderings that seems to have gone largely unnoticed by Orthodox scholars. Might it happen that today's modern translations will eventually adjust themselves on these points from the New World Translation? Why haven't they done so already? For starters, let's look up Matthew 7, verse 7 in the King James Version. Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. This is how it is in most modern Bibles, but now notice the New World Translation. Keep on asking, and it will be given you. Keep on seeking, and you will find. Keep on knocking, and it will be open to you. The original Greek is written in the present active imperative, which simply means it's a continuous, repeated action, not just a single instance. Ask, seek, knock. The New World Translation offers a more accurate translating of the tense of this original Greek. As I mentioned, very few translations are in tune with this. The New World Translation is one of the very few translations translating this in the proper tense. Let's look at another example in 1 Peter 2, verse 21. First in the King James Version. Christ also suffered for us, leaving us an example that ye should follow his steps. Virtually all other translations say about the same thing, follow his steps, except one, the New World Translation. Because Christ suffered for you, leaving a model for you to follow his steps closely. Here's the Greek word. I'm not about to say this one though. I have Greek friends that love to laugh. Anyway, the BDAG lexicon defines this as to follow closely, closely beside someone, often implying emulation or modeling oneself on another, literally following right in the footsteps. Thus, follow his footsteps closely. The Greek is translated in the same way at 1 Timothy 5:10 and Luke 23:55, which we note in the Amplified Bible. Now the woman who had come with Jesus from Galilee followed closely and saw the tomb and how his body was laid. Yes, Peter 2:21 doesn't just encourage us to merely follow Jesus, we follow in his footsteps closely. What other translation says that so scholarly and accurately? Now let's read Romans 16:25 from the King James Version. Now to him that is of power to establish you according to my gospel and the preaching of Jesus Christ according to the revelation of the mystery which was kept secret since the world began. A mystery which was kept secret involving the revealing of Jesus. Now let's read the same verse from the New World Translation, Romans 16:25. Now to him who can make you firm according to the good news I declare, and the preaching of Jesus Christ, according to the revelation of the sacred secret that has been kept in silence for long-lasting times. Note sacred secret instead of mystery. Why is that? The Greek word mysterion, which easily brings to mind a mystery, is the word used in nearly all common translations where the Greek word mysterion appears in the original Greek. But is that all this Greek word mysterion completely implies? Thayer's lexicon notes religious secrets. The Theological Dictionary of the New Testament, Volume 4, speaks of holy theological mysteries. Note what Vine's expository says of the Greek word mysterion. In the New Testament, it denotes not the mysterious as with the English word, but that which can be made known only by divine revelation, and is made known in a manner and at a time appointed by God. Every occurrence of mysterion involves something God does, one of his sacred actions. It isn't just a mere mystery, but a holy, divine, unfolding revelation from God. Thus, every time mysterion appears in the Greek, the New World Translation renders it more precisely, sacred secret. In Timothy 3:16, the New World Translation says, "Indeed, the sacred secret of this godly devotion is admittedly great." What sacred secret? Of Jesus. He was made manifest in the flesh, was declared righteous in spirit, appeared to angels, was preached about among the nations, was believed upon in the world, was received up in glory. Wow, what sacred secret is more sacred than that? The fulfilling of prophecies of the Messiah and the revealing of the grand accomplishments of the Son of God. An excellent, scholarly, studious decision on the part of the New World Translation Committee to translate so accurately and pointedly, sacred secret, the outworkings of God, much more wondrous than any mere secret or mystery, as is presented in other standard Bible translations. Sacred secret, a better and more accurate translating to what the original Greek is completely saying. Lastly, let's read Hebrews 9:6, first from the NET Bible. "So with these things prepared like this, the priests enter continually into the outer tent as they perform their duties." The ESV reads priests performing their ritual duties. Notice the King James Version does better here, calling the priestly duties the service of God. Now, the New World Translation, Hebrews 9 verse 6. "But when these things were constructed in this way, the priest entered the first tent regularly to perform the sacred services." Notice again the word sacred being used to describe what kind of service. It's a service devoted to God, more than just a mere duty or ritual. This time the Greek word is latria, and its form latriou. It stresses a holy, sacred motive. Bill Mounce's online Greek dictionary defines latrio as service, servitude, religious service, worship. And again, Vine's expository says, use of the service of God in connection with the tabernacle, divine service. Each and every time the word latria appears in the New Testament, it involves again something holy or sacred, a religious service, nearly always to God. Only a few exceptions where sinful idol worshippers are rendering their sacred service, religious service, to false gods. As for Romans 12 verse 1, it says, "Therefore I appeal to you by the compassion of God, brothers, to present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable, a sacred service, with your power of reason." Yes, more than just mere duty or ritual, our lives are a sacred service to God. This puts a grander light on things. The New World Translation brings out the true nuance of latria. In this case, the NEV, ESV, and other modern evangelical translations have regressed, even from the King James Version. Of interest, latria, sacred service, stands in contrast to proskuneo, or worship, or more often non-sacred service. These can mean simply to bow down. Proskuneo worship, including non-sacred bowing, is sometimes applied to Jesus. On the other hand, latria, sacred service, is never applied to Jesus in the Scriptures. Sacred service applies just to God alone. Let's read Matthew 4, verses 8 to 10. "Again, the devil took Jesus along to an unusually high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their glory. And he said to him, 'All these things I will give you if you fall down and do an act of worship to me.' Then Jesus said to him, 'Go away, Satan, for it is written,' in Deuteronomy 6:13, 'It is Jehovah your God you must worship, and it is to him alone you must render sacred service.'" Not just any old service, as other translations say, but sacred service. Now when Jesus and the devil on this occasion spoke to each other, What language might they have been speaking? Greek, Hebrew, or more likely their native spirit language, the way they communicated in the spirit realm even before people were created. Regardless, can anyone actually believe Jesus on this occasion would cave in and apply a superstitious tradition with the devil by misquoting Deuteronomy 6:13 and saying, "The Lord your God alone you should serve," as other translations put it? Jesus had complete reason to tell the devil what was truly written, which includes the divine name. However they pronounced it, or the best way we know, which would be Yahweh, Jehovah, whatever, your God alone should render sacred service. Jehovah alone. Interestingly, the scriptures never apply latreia, sacred service, to Jesus or anyone else, as Jesus himself said, "To Jehovah alone you render sacred service." In summary, number 1, keep on asking, keep on seeking, keep on knocking. Much more accurate than those most common translations, ask, seek, and knock. Number 2, the New World Translation follows the original Greek and, more important, follows Jesus closely, as we read almost exclusively in the New World Translation. Next, we have 2 Greek words with strong religious, holy, and sacred nuances that so many translations and scholars totally ignore. It's virtually the New World Translation that's on its own here and translates them thoroughly. Number 3, the New World Translation is quite a unique translation for revealing as sacred the mysteries of God. And number 4, as Jesus himself said so perfectly clear, our sacred service which goes exclusively to the Father, Jehovah alone. We worship the Father with spirit and truth. No sacred service for anybody else. I like to use this 1950s copy of the New World Translation. The points and near everything discussed about the New World Translation on this YouTube channel is relevant right from this very first edition onward. So many modern evangelical translations since 1950 have been translating more in line with the New World Translation, as has been noted well in certain videos throughout this channel. But will they ever follow in its footsteps closely? Most likely not. So many modern translations are very much influenced by mixed orthodoxy, creeds from uninspired founding church fathers, along with centuries of secular translations. As we see, the New World Translation is indeed a commendable scholarly translation, even faithful in what is least.